Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, going to be popping into the Soulforge, telling you what I think is good and bad in there. We'll take a look at this weekly event troop in a minute. I'll show you a really good world event team as well that uses no Mythic as well as a Underspire team. So first things first, let's take a look at this weekly event troop, Mythic. Gives magic +1 life and armor to an ally, and if a storm is active, double the effect. So with the storm going, that's quite a bit of life and armor, which is pretty decent against a non-true damage team. It's alright. It's always better to do damage, of course. You can't win battles unless you do damage to the enemy, but you also need to survive as well. So it can be useful, and it's the kind of thing you don't always cast, even when it's there sometimes, but sometimes in the game, it's your turn, it's your go, and you don't actually want to make a move because it's going to set the enemy up for a skull hit or something, or there's none of your colours on the board, so there's no point making a move, and that's when you can cast this sort of thing and make use out of that sort of a spell. So as ever, get it all the way to a mythic level if you can, certainly worth it, and yeah, add it to your roster of troops. Anyway, my wife gave me an envelope the other day and it said not to be opened until 2030. Inside was a list of reasons I cannot be trusted to follow simple instructions. Do you see? Bit of a technical one that. If anybody knows the answer to that or what that means, then chuck it in the comments below. Right, so first things first, let's go to the Soulforge and have a little gander in there. In fact, I've decided to just do it. Alright, have it that way then. I was going to see if I could just fluke a perfect run and I got a perfect not run straight away. Right, anyway, okay. After that little divergence, if that's even a thing, let's go into Soulforge. Right, so I'm not going to go over all these things that are here all the time. They're in my Soulforge extra video, which is in a link in the description below. But first up, we have the light sword. Much better than a heavy sword. Light sword's much easier to carry around. Deals damage to the first enemy and deal triple damage if they use purple mana. So pretty effective against purple mana using troops. And pretty cheap to craft as well at a mere 75 diamonds. But these kind of things are more collectible than anything. Don't tend to use them that much, if at all, ever. But still good to collect all the weapons, if you can, from certain kingdoms, because it can boost up your power levels in the long run. Nimbus Bow. Very, very good weapon. This does damage to an enemy boosted by Strix allies. Then create a mix of 6 blue and yellow gems for each Strix ally. Has peaceful as well as enchanting as part of the upgrades, which is really cool. And this works really well with 3 finesse. Finesse do enormous damage to troops, particularly yellow ones. And really, really good because finesse gain 4 to all stats when you match 4 stats, and when you match a 4 match, sorry. So when you basically have 3 finesse, that becomes 12 to all stats on all Strix allies, I think it is. So it's like, yeah, really, really good, and you can just get loops and boost up your team like massively with this. I mean, the blue is wasted because finesse only use yellow, and it doesn't actually use blue, but you get so much yellow anyway that you just go mad with your finesses. Really good, fantastic weapon, definitely worth picking up just for that team alone. Plumed Staff. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Suncrest allies, then create a mix of 6 yellow and purple gems for each Suncrest ally. So uses green and purple and creates yellow and purple. Most of the time these weapons create opposite colours of what it uses to get it charged, but this one they can actually self-charge and do it again, making it a little bit special in that regard. So yeah, really, really cool. And if you've got yellow troops on your team from Suncrest at the same time, it's just the icing on the cake, because then you get to use all the yellow and all the purple. Very good indeed. Javelin of Suncrest, kind of the anti-Suncrest weapon in a way. Remove all yellow gems, that's the colour they tend to like the most. Then deal magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by gems removed. If the enemy is from Suncrest, or if the battle is in Suncrest, deal double damage. So yeah, kind of thing that's kind of collectible, but very cheap to craft, and the same as that other weapon, there were 75 gems to craft as well. Definitely worth picking up, because like I hinted to earlier, once you've got a certain amount of kingdoms, weapons from a certain amount of kingdoms fully leveled up, you pick up bonuses in the games and can increase your power level and things like that. So collectible, you're never going to use that kind of thing really. Very rare, but worth picking up just to add to your collection for the reasons just mentioned. Blade of Morning, Blade of Night was busy, and the Blade of Afternoon had buggered off, so basically you're going to have to make do with Blade of Morning. Removes all purple gems, treats yellow gems equal to purple gems removed, then give magic +1 life to an ally, boosted by yellow gems now on the board. So when you remove those purple gems, it is with no effect. That's the thing to remember. This is like a mana booster, but used in the right way, it can actually be really good, but it's kind of got a slight tactical element behind it, so do bear that in mind. But it's actually not too bad. It's actually pretty decent. Staff of Storms. Explode magic +1 yellow gems and grant a random status effect to all Strix allies. Then summon a Strix troop. So a nice explodey summony weapon. This one's good because it's got enchanting when you upgrade it, which means it's going to gain 2 mana every single round, so it'll be ready to cast again before you even know it. Well, you will know it because it'll be ready to cast. You know what I mean. Wonder Stars. Say it every week. If you've got the resources, just craft it. Best weapon in the game, amazing mana generator, and with that fantastic option of the Bless or Cleanse at the same time. Absolutely preposterously good. Can backfire, but it's the yin and the yang. It's kind of worth it, because sometimes when people cast that, it's their fault, because they've cast it because they just auto-cast on the first option, for example, when there was so much purple and yellow there, it was technically better to cast the second option, because that's what creates the Umbral Stars, which use purple and yellow. The Elemental Stars use the opposite colours, so yeah. It is what it is, but it can backfire. That's the whole point. It's not absolutely perfect. But if it was perfect, then no one would use anything else. I mean, even though it backfires, people tend to use it all the time now, so hey, whatever. But anyway, amazing weapon. Doomed Sigh. Deal magic-based damage to the last enemy, boosted by yellow gems. If they have a doom, deal double damage, and there's a 3% chance per tempering level to kill the enemy. Don't really like these ones that have this low percentage chance like that. I mean, even at +10, it's only a 1 in 3 chance. So yeah, not really much of a fan of that, to be honest, but it is what it is. What else we got? What else we got? We got Feather Strike. Well, that's not going to hurt much, is it? If you're bashing around a bonce with a feather. Oh, say it's a feather with a dagger attached. That changes things a bit. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by yellow allies and Strix allies. So, damage with a boost, basic weapon. Not really going to use that very much, but a bit more collectible. What else we got? We've got a Golden Talon. Explode magic +1 yellow gems. Grant a random status effect to all Strix allies and summon a Strix troop. So, another explodey summoning weapon there. Do nice. It's nice to have choices of those kind of weapons, of all types of weapons, really, because depending upon restrictions, colours available, things like that. Always nice to have that kind of choice. But I do like these summony exploding weapons, like mana gen, status effects, summon. Very, very good. Right, so that is the weapons done. Now let's have a look at the troops. As ever, take a look through these summoning stones. One, to see if there's anybody there that you fancy, especially if you're a newer player. You're typically looking for empowered troops, the ones that start with full mana, really useful. Goblins too, really good. They always have an extra turn, and some of them are absolutely awesome. So always make sure you have a little shufty through here, have a little look for those goblins and those empowered troops in particular, but also anybody else which is known to be good. Nobody of note particularly there. Another goblin there. Goblins ahoy! In here at the moment. Lady of Bones. Can be good in a brown storm. So you can sort of predict what's going to happen. Next we got... Oh, Leshy's good. Leshy's very good. Entangle all allies and enemies and destroy all green gems. That's with full effect, which is pretty cool, because if you've got green using mana troops, then you can help charge them up and entangle all allies and enemies, but he's immune to entangle himself. So if you have like other troops that are immune to entangle on your team at the top, then you can keep the entire enemy team entangled. Well, it doesn't really bother you that much because you're immune, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, some good troops there today. Right, let's take a look at the Mythics first then in the Soulforge. Again, I'm not going to go over all the ones that are here on a regular basis. They're going to be in a link below to my Soulforge extra video. But let's start with the Mythics and work our way up. And these are in a funny order already. What's going on? Right, first up we have Eye of Arges. Not a particularly good spell. It's not like particularly devastating or nothing. It does explode a row and deal damage to a random enemy boosted by red gems and brown gems and skulls in the row. So yeah, it's not a spectacular spell. This kind of thing is really good for that Eye of Destruction. Create two Doom Skulls at the start of my turn. You have 3 of these in your team. That becomes 6 Doom Skulls at the start of your turn. This works in the same way as that the Great Worm team, which I've shown before. You have a Web Spinner at the top, 3 of these. You can just auto-match skulls at the start of your turn and get that triple damage with Web Spinner and just rip through teams really easily. It's like a really good way to just have a lazy game sometimes when you don't really want to be bothered to actually do much, just create mayhem for the enemy, because it is actually particularly hard to defend against depending upon certain restrictions. So yeah, not a very good spell, really good trait, overall above average mythic, but not anything too special. It's just really good for that 3rd trait. Garnetarlin is the dragon on rotation this week. Damage to all enemies boosted by brown gems. Convert 5 brown gems to brown giant gems with a double space, which is irritating. And there's a 10% chance for an extra turn boosted by brown gems. So Garnet, that's going to be a gem dragon, so that's going to be one used to craft or put towards crafting Diamantina. So say every week, if this is the last dragon you need, the ones you're chasing to craft Diamantina, and you want to craft Diamantina, it's certainly worth that extra Dragonite, because it guarantees you the dragon. No more frustration of getting those duplicates, which is really cool. But if you need more than 1 dragon still, that's when I'd open the egg normally, because yeah, it's guaranteed, but still, then you're going to have the same thing the next time. You're still going to have 1 dragon left to craft, and then basically you're going to have to save up another 2,000 Dragonite. So, but player's choice. But I know if this was the last dragon I needed, I would definitely rather spend the extra Dragonite. So who is next? We have the Scourge of Honor. And oh, and Andrew Bastez. A couple of good mythics here. So the Scourge of Honor. Deal magic-based true damage to all enemies. Gain 2 mana back for each cursed or diseased enemy. The cool thing about that is it works really well with its 3rd trait, Rat Swarm. Curse and disease a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So get some 4 matches, you can curse disease enemies, and that puts up that gain 2 mana back for each cursed or diseased enemy, which means you can get like nearly ready to go again straight away. Really, really good mythic that, and true damage, which is sweet. Uberstat. Oh, still an absolute powerhouse in the game. Really, really good. I mean, have a look at this. When I first saw this, when it first came out, I thought it's got to be wrong. It's one of those ones that's like, when Elementalist class first came out, you thought that can't be right. It's just mental. But yeah, deal magic plus 2 damage to the 2 weakest enemies, boosted by all ally and enemy attack. And if one of the enemies dies, kill the other one. That's like guaranteed 2 deaths if you do that properly. And the thing is, now with the game the way it is in PvP and things like that, where people boost their attack and things like that, or against some of those enemies in different events, they've got massive attacks, then yeah, Uberstat can be absolutely lethal still, absolutely amazing. Nothing too fantastic about the traits, probably Pride Prowess is the best one. All ally Raksha gain 1 attack and magic at the start of each turn, but yeah, that spell absolutely devastating still, absolutely fantastic. Flippin' heck, and Scorpius, what the heck? This is one of the best like lineups of mythics I can ever remember being in the game. I mean, Eye of Arges is easily the weakest out of these 4, but crikey, Scorpius, Uberstat, and Scourge of Honor in 1 Soulforge. I mean, have a look at Scorpius. I mean, it is really high mana cost, but deal damage based on your magic to the last 2 enemies, and the damage is lethal on any poisoned enemy. So you can use a Uri team with this. Utilize another mythic who poisons all enemies when you get 4 match, and then you just kill them with Scorpius. Really good. Of course, the only caveat to this is it's like there are a lot of troops now immune to poison and things like that in one way or another, so you do have to be careful of that. So it's not like perfect, but now we've got Curse in the game and things like that, then yeah, still really good Scorpius. And he's impervious as well as poison enemies when doing skull damage, as well as Desert King. All brown allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn. So yeah, really cool. And he is a brown as well. So yeah, some really, really good mythics here today. Crikey. So let's now go over the legendaries quick. Crikey, and we got Shegra and Venoxia. What a week this is for troops. Wowzers. So Shegra, really, really amazing legendary troop. Creates 8 red gems and then converts all red gems to skulls. The cool thing about that is if you can see there's a lineup of red and skulls, like say there's 2 red, skull, red, you know that is going to basically change to a lineup of skulls and an extra turn at the same time. So really, really devastating, and got a shiny boost at the same time. I think it was a Guild Wars a couple ago, bringing down the mana cost to 12, if anybody's wondering why my mana cost is 12, not, what was it before, 14? I think, yeah, so yeah, cool. And burn a random enemy when matching red gems. And Pyromania. So yeah, very, very nice indeed is Shegra. Do like me a bit of Shegra still today. Venoxia, another fantastic legendary troop. Create 9 green and 9 blue gems. Then deal magic-based true damage to all enemies. Absolutely amazing. Works really, really well with Queen Bee. And yeah, absolutely another amazing, amazing mythic. Legendary troop. Practically mythic, but you know, still absolutely awesome. So we've got Shegra, we've got Venoxia, and Willow was another one of the legendaries. We used to use this a lot in the early days of the game, even mid-level. Really good. Destroy row. Deal a magic +2 damage to all enemies boosted by brown gems destroyed. So you destroy a row, take out as many brown as you can to get that boost. And reduce damage from skulls by 33% is cool. Immune to entangles, okay against certain teams. And all beast allies gain 2 attack and life on 4 or 5 gem matches. So yeah, Willow. And it makes a nice little ting noise when you cast it as well, which I did actually used to quite like. Right, so who's the last one? There's another one, isn't there? Oh, Grimfeather. Deals magic +3 by look of it, true damage to the first 2 enemies, then eliminate 7 attack from them, and if an enemy dies, create 10 purple gems. 10 purple gems is not quite in the land of guaranteed amount to basically get a 4 match and recharge itself and perhaps do it again. You can set up the enemy on that kind of things, you do have to be careful, but yeah, it's okay. But who gets my mythic of the week? Crikey, this is a tough one, isn't it? Flippin' heck. Well, it's not going to be Eye of Argies, and it is good for that Eye of Destruction, but you do need 3 of them to make it effective. And the spell is not very good. But as regard these top 3 here, Uberstedt, Scourge of Honor, and Scorpius, these are all like right up there mythics. Not the best of the best, like your you know, your boss troops and your Zul'Goth and things like that, but definitely a bracket below them. If there was like an S+ of uber best mythics, and these 3 are probably in the category below that. So they're all absolutely amazing. Scorpius, Uberstedt, and Scourge of Honor. How do you separate these? So a true damage and the ability to get most of the mana back and do it again, really good. Uberstedt, the ability to just kill 2 enemies at the same time, but you do have to set them up for that first kill, if you know what I mean, to make sure it happens. And Scorpius does just kill 2 enemies outright. The downside to that is they have to be obviously prone to being subject to poison, because if they can't be poisoned, then that doesn't work in its lethal way, where Uberstedt can just kill those 2 straight away, but you have to set it up. Well, this is so close to call, I'm actually going to leave this to the crowd. Put in the comments below who you would say is the best out of Scorpius, Uberstedt, and the Scourge of Honor. Obviously, it's horses for courses, different troops for different things, but let's say, for example, that Scorpius, Uberstedt, and Scourge of Honor, for whatever reason, were about to be removed from the game, and you could only save 1. Who would you have? Yeah, let me know in the comments. This is too close to call for me, so I'm going to leave it to the comment department. Right, so fantastic stuff. Like, yeah, Scorpius, Uberstedt, Scourge of Honor. Down to the comments, let me know who you'd save. And now we'll move on. Now on to the World Event team. A really nice no mythic team here to just blitz through this World Event with the greatest of ease. But you must make the most of this medal, the Prism medal starts off as a token, evolves to a badge, and then ultimately to a Prism medal. We do a whopping 160% spell damage for all troops in the current event. And these do stack, so as you get more of the badges and the medals, you just literally just pile them up and do absolutely obscene amounts of damage. But do check your rewards section first, because being a guild-based event, like you may have got some of these stuff in here ready to collect already, and some of them things are going to be those Prism tokens, so you can actually get that power absolutely straight away, and then just buy whatever stuff you acquire from the shop. Really good to get tier 1, 2 and 3 though, if you can, particularly tier 1 and 2. Tier 1, you get the Potion of Enchantment, enchants all allies at the start of battle. That's 2 mana every turn, really good. And you get Prism tokens, more troops, more event sigils, and more besides. Tier 2, you pick up the very, very handy Potion of Explosion. Works really, really well with a Potion of Enchantment. That's just 3 mana at the start of the game. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And more of the same as before. More Prism tokens, more event sigils, more troops, and so on. And it goes on with the Potion of Rejuvenation and more stuff. So just get whatever tiers you require. Now I've jumped forward a bit in the battles because it's just way too easy on the early stages, but we're just going to go over the scoring system first. Now there are 6 battles that you can encounter during this event: Spider Queen, Tal Ray, Secret Darkwood, the Silken Queen, Matron Velene, and Arc Proxy Avendra. The first 5 battles are randomly chosen, but they all have an equal chance of appearing on the map. The battle against Arc Proxy Avendra will only appear after you have won 4 of the other battles. After defeating her, all battles reset, and you need to fight another 4 battles to spawn Arc Proxy Avendra again. Now you find books by beating these opponents, and Spider Queen you get 3 books, Tal Ray 5 books, Secret Darkwood 6 books, the Silken Queen 9 books, Matron Velene 10 books, and Arc Proxy Avendra 12 books. I'm going to simplify the scoring system. Each book is worth 5 points, but battles will drop a variable number of books, on average about 1.18 times the base amount, and as the battles get harder, they will also increase the amount of books they give by 25%. So important to make sure you got those medals equipped. There you go, make sure you get them in there. Remember, they do stack, so you can stick more of them in there. Even the badge ones, just get them in there, get that power boosted. It makes a massive, massive difference. It makes this an absolute walk in the park. But we've got Matron Velene up next. Like I say, I did jump forward a bit because the early battle was just way too easy. I'm going to go in High Priestess Chazka, Nimbus Bow, and 2 times Finesse in Stormcaller class. Absolutely walk in the park like this. Summer Banner, +2 green, +1 purple, -1 blue. Let's get that weapon up nice and quick. You can go it the other way around as well if you want more purple. But it's been working well like this. And I did actually start off with Nimbus Bow on top, but then changed it around because as the things get harder, as the battles get harder, you get more web in the game, which basically means you want to employ this Bless nice and quickly, because that's going to basically be a super cleanse on our entire team, and that makes a massive difference. Right, so the class for this, Stormcaller. Conjure a Light Storm when my turn begins. Really handy. We do get that from High Priestess Chazka anyway. But we can have Resilience, we can have Purification, we can have a Thunder Fist, we can have that one. We're not going to die, hopefully, but you don't want that. And that's no use to anyone, so it's kind of that by default. We've got to pick something. Gale Force, yeah. Lightning Strike, why not? And a bit of Strix Commander. Happy days. Right, so how this works is Finesse, absolutely fantastic troop. Give 4 to all skills on all Strix allies when matching 4 or more gems. Really, really cool. With 2 of these, that becomes 8 to all skills on all Strix allies when matching 4 or more gems, as well as reduce damage from skulls by 50%, as well as deal double skull damage versus yellow enemies. So if you don't have a High Priestess Chazka, you can actually have 3 of these, start with 1 of these up top, but then on the later levels you are prone to that web, which you'd have to be a little bit careful for. And yeah, you can swap that out for Wand of Stars if you have it as well, to make sure you get that Bless, which is going to help out your team rather a lot. But this is going to work with High Priestess Chazka anyway. I mean, if you've got the medals, she can do damage to all, boosted by those medals, and just wipe everybody out on her own for a long time in this event, unless you go to crazy levels. So, and by the time that happens, we'll have got 4 matches and stuff. These have been boosted, and they can chip in and finish off and use this if you need to. So, yeah, this should be an absolute walk in the park. So let's dive straight in. Like I say though, we got this bless, we've got the damage to all, we've got the mana gen, we've got the boost and obscene damage and the gift of finesse. Yeah, this is going to be easy. So right, like I say, I did jump forward a bit. Let's jump onto Matron Belemi at level 90. Show how this works. It's very straightforward though. With the potion of enchantment and the explosion, we've got a constant yellow storm. We're just going to grab some yellow. That could have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. And she'll send them packing. They got a couple of respawns there, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be ready anyway because of the way that the enchantment works, and we can finish off. And the cool thing about casting High Priestess Chazka first is you obviously get the benefit of that bless absolutely straight away. Ooh, who's most important, Secra or Telray? I think it's going to be Secra. Yes, it is. So normally you'd get a better start than that, but it is what it is. Sometimes the game stitches you up a little bit. Right, let's grab some of that. There's that gift of finesse that pushes up our power even more. Let's now grab some yellow. High Priestess Chazka is going to go a little bit mad. And then this can finish off. Because the respawns can be annoying as well. This is where the finesses are really, really good for just one shot on those cheeky opponents that have the cheek to respawn. But the power you get from the boost on the medal in this is absolutely nuts. So we're nearly ready already. We've got a bit of yellow there, why not? Double benefit. We get the bless straight away. The finesses are going to be ready anyway. It's like, you know, if they didn't charge straight away because of the storm, then the enchantment means they're going to be ready anyway. And the early stages, it's literally just so straightforward, it's nuts. You can either get the finesses charged, or you can cast Nimbus Bow. You can put Nimbus Bow to the top. Take yellow or purple, get that cast as soon as possible. And be on your way. Very, very straightforward. And like I say, when you cast High Priestess Chazka first, you get that bless, which makes you safe from the web. Very nifty. We'll grab that just because it's there. All those 4 matches are pushing out the power. Just do it just for the sake of it, because we're on 74 damage to all already low. And as soon as you get that, we've gone up to 82. But combined with the medal, makes it mental. And then these hit super hard to finish off any people that are cheeky enough to come in. Alright, just do a couple more battles because this is mega straightforward. Going to be absolute walk in the park. Lots of yellow there straight away. We got any purple? Yeah, we've got purple, yellow, and an extra turn. Happy days. High Priestess Chazka just wipes everybody out. Right, so let's just do a couple more. Let's jump on Secret Darkwood. Not literally. Oh, that was not a bad little start. We're guaranteed to be up next round now with our High Priestess Chazka. Yeah, you can see how straightforward this is with the medals. So it's going to be really easy. No, Secret Darkwood wants to go again. Fair enough. If you insist. Oh, that was nice. Mana surge there on the yellow, but it vanished. It doesn't matter though, Secra's ready anyway. Not Secra. Can get that if you want to boost up your power if you're new to the game, don't have mega high power. Want to boost it up, make sure you collect those 4 matches. Right, let's just do this one and then we'll call the video on the world event a day. Yes. Very easy. Right. Oh, first to go again. Right, this is the last one. Last battle of the world event. as you can see, it's just insanely easy. Very good combination. Puts a stop to that web. I mean, they've got the web there. I'm sure glad they've done that to show how easy it is to defend against this and get it back. We got cleanse anyway, but let's pretend we didn't. When we cast this, we get the bless, which is a cleanse, and the effect of being impervious at the same time. Get 4 matches. Get your power up. Should we get them? Oh, the bond thing's ready anyway. So let's get purple, yellow, whatever. Let's finish them off with a double whammy of mega finesse. Right, enough of that. And now on to the Underspire team. Now don't forget to change your medals back from that world event team, because they're not going to be effective for this. So I'm going to go for 2 times Nosha and 1 medal of Anu for this. Make it as plain sailing as possible. And let's jump into the Underspire. Right, so the restriction is a Suncrest, so we can't go with that finesse team we had in the world event. But this is still going to be really good. You can pick up this weapon from the Soulforge, the plumed staff, if you don't have it already. Does damage to an enemy boosted by Suncrest allies, then create a mix of 6 yellow and purple gems for each Suncrest ally. So we're restricted to Suncrest anyway, so this is going to be a really decent amount of damage for this. So, good damage and loads of yellow and purple. This is good because Queen Xochitls use yellow, and so does High Priestess Chazka. And the purple uses itself purple, so it can self-charge, and any excess purple goes into High Priestess Chazka, so we don't waste any of that juicy mana. Now, so we get damage with an extra turn potential with this, and the ability to self-charge and do it again, which is very nice. And Queen Xochitl does damage to all enemies, and if there's a storm, explodes 5 gems, charging up the team very, very quickly. And there will be a storm because High Priestess Chazka conjures a light storm when her turn begins, which is very cool. And we'll have a storm in Stormcaller class anyway, so we got a hell of a lot of stormy stuff going on. And she can even chip in with some damage to all at the same time, as well as a bless all yellow allies, which is 3 out of 4 of our team. So very, very straightforward to run. Banner for this, unicorn banner, +2 purple, +1 yellow, -1 red is fine. Still going to go in Stormcaller class for this. Really good. Love all these little traits here. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy on 4 or 5. Allied Strix gain 2 life. Conjure a light storm. Not so important because we get that from Chazka anyway. But yeah, exactly the same setup as what we had for the world event, basically. So yeah, let's dive in and have a few scraps. So not going to be as quick as the world event teams. We don't get those enchantment potions or the explosion at the beginning and things like that, which slows it down. But we can try and get the weapon charged up as quickly as possible by collecting purple or green. We've got some green. There we go. Let's bash him around the bonds. Loads of mana everywhere. That's got up. Xochitl. Once this gets rolling, it should be pretty quick because she's going to explode those gems, charge up the team, and repeat. Alright, let's get our stuff from Matey Boy Chain Nose. Thanks, mate. Be on your way. And we go again. And you can get High Priestess Chazka charged up if you get like a nice start on blue, brown and yellow like that. That's got her charged up straight away, look. And she'll just say kaboosh as she bashes them all out of there. And look, that charged up the whole team at the same time. Mental. Absolutely awesome stuff. We've got a lot of blue there we don't care about. Whatever. And a load of that. But it's got a Chazka up anyway. Happy days. Unless you're the enemy, and it's not so happy at all. But at least you died a groovy death. I mean, look at what she's wearing when she killed you. At least you died happy if those feathers got blown out of the way. I suppose. Anyway. Less distraction tactics from Chazka. More onto the actual idea of the team. Oh, I was going to collect that for the weapon then, but Chazka's nearly ready all the time. So whatever happens first, because the cool thing about this team as well is the top 2 troops use opposite colours. If you get green and purple on the screen, you can charge up the weapon. If you get yellow and brown, you can charge up Chazka instead. Whatever happens first. Got some yellow there. Some brown on the other side, providing it stays there, and it did. Good stuff. Kaboosh them all out of the way. And on to the next. So, yeah, it should be pretty solid. Obviously, depends upon how far you go into this. It could get tricky when the enemy starts to hit really, really hard. But yeah, all round a fairly straightforward Underspire. Especially at these early stages. I mean, look at how straightforward this is going to be. And we'll bash them all out of there with Chazka. She flaps her feathers out of the way. Everyone goes Google-eyed and thinks, ooh, that was... Oh, I'm dead. What a shame. Anyway, that'll do for that. There's a video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful and helpful, it'd be really cool if you bashed that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.